Ms Legalista here. Thank you for joining. I'm not sure that I have talked about solar panels. If I did, it's been so long I've forgotten about it. But I want to jump into this article about this potential class action coming. And actually, this goes back a couple months. So maybe they have achieved class action status, maybe not. I don't know. But I want to bring up something to think about if you're one of these people who have solar panels, who are thinking about solar panels, or someone else who might be in this solar panel world. Because when I drive around, I see lots of solar panels on rooftops in my neighborhood. My home is not necessarily one of those that is going to have solar panels because I've got too many trees. And I've actually had people reach out to me and say, hey, would you be interested in solar panels? And then they want to pull up the property on the phone during the call. And they're just like, oh, no, I guess that wouldn't work for you because you don't really have a lot of sunlight hitting your roof. But here you go. I want to bring this up. Solar lenders sued for fraud, potential class action coming. This is out of Florida, but these companies are all over the country. And then you have the financing companies behind it. And I want to say I did one because I'm sort of remembering the financing part of it. But this particular one's out of Florida. It says 4 solar finance companies, including the subject of a recent CBS 12 News I-Team reporter being sued by the Minnesota Attorney General. Now, a lawyer in Palm Beach County plans to sue at least one of them in a class action lawsuit. And this is not the first time that I have heard about this. So it says here they were looking into this now defunct business called Vision Solar. Okay, thing number one to point out, when you are doing your research, I'm sorry, but there are a few solar companies that have run into issues and that are now defunct. And people are left with solar panels that are leaking and solar panels that are not providing the savings that they thought that they were going to have, and solar panels that the cost is not what they thought it was going to be because there wasn't clarity around some of the credits that were available through the federal government and timelines on this and what you had to apply for in order to get these credits. So it's not as simple as going with this company and saying, hey, we're going to get these solar panels and they're going to be on our house and we're going to save money. It's way more complicated than that. One of the issues that I sometimes see is this sort of back and forth when there's a leak. It's the installer saying it's a manufacturing defect. There was a problem with the solar panels. The solar panel company is then saying, nope, not a problem with our product. It's a problem as a result of the installation. Now, imagine you're the homeowner caught between these two parties. You're pretty upset because you have a leaking roof that you have to pay for, and maybe it's still under warranty, and the manufacturer doesn't want to pay because they said there was nothing wrong with our product. They did something wrong when they put it on the roof. And the installer saying, no, we're not paying and we're not coming back out to fix because we did nothing wrong. And it's 9 months later, or it's a year and a half later, and we don't have to. Your warranty is not with us. Your warranty is with them. This sort of back and forth is definitely one of the things that comes up if there is an issue around leaking. But it says here, now defunct business called Vision Solar solicited expensive solar projects, installed many without permits. Oh, wow. And failed to hook some up to the power grid, ripping off customers in several different states, including Florida. Look, one of the things that happens is people will see these new opportunities. They go, oh, yes, because I have seen this stuff pop up, because I work with a lot of businesses, I do a lot of transactional work. And you'll see things pop up that say, hey, you can start a solar power company. There are funds available because the government is trying to, push new technologies around solar energy and to move away from those kinds of practices that may be a little bit more harmful to the environment. And so the government is investing in this, and they want you to get out there and sell these products, and they want consumers to buy them. So then they will have credits for the consumers. So for people who are looking to make a fast buck, they see this as a good opportunity because all they have to do is find a company to install it. They don't even have to worry about the customer paying because guess what? There is a financing company already in line. They understand the process and they're used to financing these projects. Y'all, it's a different kind of racket. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. In this case, look at this. Did it without permits, failed to even hook some up to the power grid. How about being mad about that? And this is not cheap. This stuff is not cheap. That's the other thing. People go into it thinking, oh, I'm going to save all this money. But what they don't understand is if all of the boxes are not checked and you wind up being on the hook, it is thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars. Not to mention if you have to pay to get something repaired. It says they said that they spoke to Vision Solar, excuse me, customers who had financed their projects through dividend finance. Like I said, there are some companies ready to go, you know, just like you have companies that do a lot of car financing and were still being asked to make payments on their loans even if their solar panels weren't working. So understand what's going on here. And I think I did do the solar panel video on this. I think I'm tired and the day is not even quite over yet. Dividend finance. Okay, so here's the thing. The finance company still wants to get paid. Look at it this way. You buy a car from the dealership. You get the car home after about 6 months, the car starts having issues and now you can't drive it. Well, guess what? Ford Motor Company still expects you to pay them. Yes, you may have a warranty on that car. Yes, the dealership may be giving you a runaround about getting it fixed and getting the parts and charging you a whole lot. And you're saying, no, this was a lemon and there's all this back and forth about the vehicle. The finance company still expects to get paid because, well, guess what? You have the car. It might not run, but you have the car. So this is the same sort of situation. Dividend finance still expects to get paid. It's not on them that there was something wrong with the solar panels or that they didn't get installed with permits or that they didn't get hooked up to the power grid. That's not on them. All they did was act as a lender for this transaction. That is what they are saying. So you have to keep this in mind when you're saying, well, I'm not going to pay them because it doesn't work. Well, okay, let me know how that one works out for you. This week, Dividend Finance and three other solar lending companies are the subject of a lawsuit from the Minnesota Attorney General, who alleges that they routinely stuck consumers with hidden fees in their loan contracts, inflated the price of solar panels by up to 30%, and ripped off consumers in that state to the tune of $35 million. I'm not surprised one bit at all. I told you, this whole thing was sort of set up to get people to invest in solar energy. And for homeowners, that meant solar panels or electric cars. I went to an event, it may have been earlier this year or late last year, about, I think it was called the White House Innovation Day or whatever. And there was a whole section about innovative products and things of that nature that were these products that are supposed to help be more energy efficient. And I remember seeing this stove. The thing was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I remember talking to someone there. And yes, they were able to do that because come up with this company and do this stuff because there were programs out there that will help fund research and development projects. And so if you're a legitimate company and you're doing everything by the book, hats off to you for doing a good job. However, you can see here what they're saying here is they inflated the price of solar panels by up to 30%. So where do you find the sweet spot in terms of the company being able to make a product and the company engaging in practices that appear more to be like price gouging, sometimes working with other companies in the industry to set pricing, which is illegal? Like, where do you find your sweet spot to make your profit and not be so harmful on the consumer that you're being accused of ripping off consumers to the tune of $35 million? Like, who is the person sitting at the top of that company who thinks that that is the right thing to do to people? You tell me. A spokesperson for Dividend's parent company, Fifth Third Bank, told the I team, we have reviewed the lawsuit filed by the Minnesota Attorney General against Dividend Solar Finance and other solar lenders and believe the claims against Dividend and Fifth Third are wrong. We intend to defend ourselves vigorously. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you plan to. We are committed to providing lending products that help consumers who wish to use solar energy. That would be Fifth Third. I just recorded a video where, they're in trouble for these things that they did in the auto loans and the fake accounts, and it's a $20 million penalty that they're possibly going to have to pay. And yet they're going to defend themselves vigorously here because they think that they haven't done anything wrong. So yes, so they're looking at this class action lawsuit. You got this attorney. He's hoping to help customers out of their long-term loans. And I think that's pretty much it. The rest of this stuff is just a bunch of ads down here. But you see what we're talking about here, right? Solar lenders sued. And so, like I said before, when I've spoken to people about this, they tend to think of this differently. And I don't know why, because they should not. They should not. It's just like the car. It's just like when you purchase a car and there is a finance company behind it. You still have to make that payment. Otherwise, they're going to repossess the car. You still have to make the solar panel payment. And in that case, it's likely that there may be a lien on your property anyway if they filed a UCC financing statement because they've attached those solar panels to your house. So it's even more complicated on that end because, yeah, they might repossess the car. Well, what do you want them to do to your house? This lien is sitting out there. If you're trying to sell your house, it's going to be a problem, especially if you've got these other issues going on with it, like it's not hooked up to the power grid, it wasn't permitted, and if it's leaking and not structurally secure on the property. So, yeah, so we'll see how this goes. Again, you've just got some business practices here that just appear to be wrong. But we'll see where this goes. We'll see if they have this class action, how this is going. But if you're one of these people who are thinking about solar panels, I just want you to understand for real what this looks like. You've got multiple parties here. It's the manufacturer of the solar panels, it's the installer of the solar panels, and it's the financing company that is allowing you to set this up so that you can pay this over time. And like I said before, in some instances, there may be tax credits out there that help bring the cost down for you if those are still out there, and whether or not that information is shared with you in a way that helps you take advantage of them. But there you go. There's just so much going on. I can hardly keep up anymore. All right. If you learned a little bit about solar panels, financing companies, and this suit for fraud, then go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. Mwah. Peace.